Donald Trump's son, Donald Trump Jr., has been doing a show, I guess. That's what this looks like. And he is off his rocker. I don't know what's wrong with Don Jr., but something is off when you watch him speak in these contexts. Even worse than I've seen him before. Frantic and strange. So here's the clips I want to show you. The first is, let me just read part of the quote. Quote, how often, he's talking about Biden's support or lack thereof of the protesters in China. Of course, the White House has said they're supportive of the Chinese citizens' right to protest peacefully, but he's pretending that they're completely not supportive, and this is why. How often, this is his wording, have they invested in crackheads? China invests in a lot of crackheads, folks. It's what they do. They get every crackhead, and they give them $1 billion. Okay, so try to decipher with the strange energy that he's bringing to this video what the heck he's saying.
Like $1 billion, their sovereign wealth funds, they say it wasn't the government directly, even though they control every entity. Give me a break. But just so we're clear, how...
If you're listening to this as a podcast, just believe me or go check out my YouTube channel and watch this. Something's bizarre. He's moving his hands like he's so jacked up on caffeine or something.
How often have they invested with crackheads? Ask yourself this. Watch what's going on. One of the great revolutions of all time. The U.S. is silent. Big tech is aiding, abetting, and people...
Are his eyes shut right now?
People who simply want freedom are being crushed. Their will to live destroyed. Almost shocked at the level of silence. And then I remembered, you know what? China's $1 billion investment into Hunter Biden when he flew over there on Air Force Two and walked away. China invests in a lot of crackheads, folks. It's what they do. They definitely don't do other diligence than that. They get every crackhead and they give them $1 billion into their fund, right? No. That investment is paying off in spades right now, folks. Because we've sold our soul to the devil, folks. Trump was right. Trump's policies were right. They were working. And now we took it all away and gave control back to the commies. Great work, folks. Keep it up.
Yeah. I would respond to what he said, but I have absolutely no clue, so we'll move on to the second clip. He then, in a different appearance, again, I don't know if this is a show or just whenever he posts stuff on YouTube, he puts a little Don Jr. logo. But still on the topic of the Chinese Communist Party, saying that Apple is controlled by them, and that's why Apple is threatening to pull Twitter off the App Store, even though they're not. And Elon Musk, as we'll see in a second, has said that they've cleared that up, and they're not threatening to take them off the App Store, but doesn't stop Don Jr. here.
Apple cuts out their one form of communication because Elon Musk had the gall to not have Twitter be like a 99-to-1 platform, liberal insanity to conservative pushback. Apple threatens to remove them from the iTunes store. Think about that. Because Elon Musk wanted free speech and also wanted to push back against the sexualization of our children and getting rid of child pornography on the platform. I know it's a grave...
Wait. Who is not down with taking that off the platform? Everyone, the left, the right, I would hope is great with the idea that we should not have child pornography on Twitter. Of course, everyone's on board with that. This is not a political debate going on. This is what's so irritating about covering these types of individuals, because they're feeding information about what the opposition wants or pushes for that just is not accurate.
Threat. I know that's a major threat to big tech or whatever, but those two things became a priority in Twitter.
You know what? We're going to keep watching this, but I just want to say this now. I think as someone who speaks into a camera, there should be a rule to yourself. You should learn your mind that if your camera is cutting off above where your nipples are, right here and up, your hands should be in the frame less than 50% of the video, because his hands are up here the entire time. I know that's not important, guys, but it's what's making me laugh. So just entertain me.
Twitter, and now they're going to remove it. Give me a break. The big tech censorship must stop. We must push back. And I hope that Elon does produce that phone and puts these guys in check, because they cannot allow this continue. It's why Donald Trump was right to push back on China. It's why his policies were effective. And it's why so many people hated them, because they too need China. They too jump when China tells them to. Don't forget it.
Okay, we'll stop it there. But to clarify again, Elon Musk even said, okay, no, Apple isn't threatening, as the HuffPost puts here. Elon Musk says Apple isn't threatening to remove Twitter from the App Store after all. But one of the parts they have focused in on is, okay, they're not threatening to take off the App Store, but they're not allowing, or they're not advertising as much on Twitter. And you can see here, I just Googled to find this tweet that came up previously. Elon Musk tweeted, Apple has mostly stopped advertising on Twitter. Do they hate free speech? Wait, what? So the stance now from the right is, if a company doesn't pay you their free speech, or they're violating your freedom of speech, how does anyone watch that, listen to that, read that, and not think, okay, they're completely unserious and they must be scamming me somehow, or dishonest in some way? Because clearly Apple making a decision that they're allowed to make to not advertise on Twitter is up to them and has nothing to do. Actually, it is a free speech issue. It's their free speech right not to do that. If they don't want to put their advertisement in certain places, they don't have to. Why would the First Amendment mandate that Apple advertise on Twitter? That doesn't make any sense at all, but it's the logic that we get, and unfortunately that is very much the case. Speaking of Twitter, I'll remind you guys to follow me at Luke P. Beasley. I'm finally starting to get active for some reason while everything's falling apart there. That's just how my logic goes. So Luke P. Beasley on Twitter. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before any of the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get access to an extra full show every Saturday that only members can see, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley, and there is a link in the description.